Aaliyah was an American singer and actress. She has been credited with helping to redefine contemporary R&B, pop, and hip-hop, earning her the nicknames the Princess of R&B and Queen of Urban Pop. Born January 16, 1979, Brooklyn, New York, United States. Died August 25, 2001, age 22 years, Marsh Harbor, the Bahamas. Parents, Diane Houghton, Michael Houghton. Date of burial, August 31, 2001. Aaliyah net worth $8 million. Early life. Aaliyah Dana Houghton was born on January 16, 1979, in Brooklyn, New York City, the younger child of Diane and Michael Miguel Houghton, a warehouse worker. She was of African American descent. Her name is the feminine form of the Arabic Ali, meaning highest, most exalted one, the best. Aaliyah was fond of her name, calling it beautiful and saying she was very proud of it and strove to live up to her name every day. When she was 5 years old, her family moved to Detroit, Michigan, where she was raised along with her older brother, Rashad. In Detroit, her father began working in the warehouse business, one of his brother-in-law Barry Hankerson's widening interests. Her mother stayed home and raised her and her brother. Her mother enrolled her in voice lessons at an early age. Eventually, she started performing at weddings, church choir, and charity events. Aaliyah attended a Catholic school, Gisu Elementary, where in first grade she was cast in the stage play Annie, which inspired her to become an entertainer. Aaliyah's mother was a vocalist, and her uncle Hankerson was an entertainment lawyer who had been married to Gladys Knight. As a child, Aaliyah traveled with Knight and worked with an agent in New York City to audition for commercials and television programs, including Family Matters. After failing to land a role on the show, she continued her acting through the Gisu Players. In 1989, at age 10, she appeared on Star Search, where she performed My Funny Valentine. Aaliyah chose to begin auditioning. Her mother made the decision to drop her surname. She auditioned for several record labels and at age 11 appeared in concerts alongside Knight. During her childhood, she had several pet animals including ducks, snakes and iguanas. Her cousin Jomo had a pet alligator, which Aaliyah felt was too much, remarking, "That was something I wasn't going to stroke." Aaliyah attended Detroit schools and believed she was well-liked, but she was teased for her short stature. By age 15, however, she came to love her height. Her mother told her to be happy she was small and complimented her. Although some children disliked Aaliyah, she determined, "You always have to deal with people who are jealous," but there were so few it didn't even matter. The majority of kids supported me, which was wonderful. Even in her adult life, she considered herself small. She had learned to accept and love herself and added, "The most important thing is to think highly of yourself, because if you don't, no one else will." Career. 1991 to 1995, age ain't nothing but a number. After Hankerson signed a distribution deal with Jive Records, he signed Aaliyah to his Blackground Records label at the age of 12. Hankerson later introduced her to recording artist and producer R. Kelly, who became Aaliyah's mentor, as well as lead songwriter and producer of her first album, recorded when she was 14. Aaliyah's debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, was released under her mononym Aaliyah by Jive and Blackground Records on May 24, 1994. It debuted at number 24 on the Billboard 200 chart, selling 38,000 copies in its first week. It peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200 and it was certified 2 times platinum by the RIAA. To date, the album has sold over 3 million copies in the US. In Canada, the album was certified gold by Music Canada for 50,000 copies in shipments. In 2014, Vibe magazine estimated that the album had sold 6 million copies globally. Personal life. Family. Aaliyah's family played a major role in the course of her career. Beginning in 1995, Aaliyah's father Michael Houghton served as her personal manager, and her mother assisted him. Aaliyah's brother Rashad Houghton and her cousin Jomo Hankerson were with her when she worked. After her father became ill, her brother Rashad became her manager. Aaliyah was known to have usually been accompanied by members of her family. Her brother Rashad stated that the filming of Rock the Boat was the only time her family was not present during a video shoot. In October 2001, Rashad said, "It really boggles everyone from day one, every single video she ever shot there's always been myself or my mother or my father there. The circumstances surrounding this last video were really strange because my mother had eye surgery and couldn't fly. That really bothered her because she always traveled. My dad had to take care of my mom at that time. And I went to Australia to visit some friends. We really couldn't understand why we weren't there. You ask yourself, maybe we could have stopped it. But you can't really answer the question. There's always going to be that question of why." Her friend Kidada Jones said in the last year of Aaliyah's life, her parents had given her more freedom and she had spoken about wanting a family. Death. On August 25, 2001, at 6:50 p.m. EDT, Aaliyah and some employees of her record company boarded a twin-engine Cessna 402 light aircraft at the Marsh Harbor Airport in Abaco Islands, the Bahamas, to travel to Opelika Airport in Florida after they completed filming the video for Rock the Boat. They had a flight scheduled the next day, but with filming finishing early, Aaliyah and her entourage were eager to return to the U.S. and decided to leave immediately. The designated airplane was smaller than the Cessna 404 on which they had originally arrived, but the whole party and all the equipment were accommodated on board. The plane crashed and caught fire shortly after takeoff, about 200 feet, 60 meters, from the end of the runway. Aaliyah and the 8 others on board, pilot Luis Morales III, hairstylist Eric Foreman, Anthony Dodd, security guard Scott Gallin, family friend Keith Wallace, makeup stylist Christopher Maldonado, and Blackground Records employees Douglas Kratz and Gina Smith, were killed. The passengers had grown impatient because the Cessna was supposed to arrive at 4:30 p.m. EDT, but did not arrive until 6:15 p.m. Another charter pilot, Louis Key, said he overheard passengers arguing with their pilot, Luis Morales, before takeoff, adding that Morales warned them that there was too much weight for a safe flight. Key added, he tried to convince them the plane was overloaded, but they insisted they had chartered the plane and they had to be in Miami Saturday night. Key indicated that Morales gave in to the passengers and that he had trouble starting one of the engines. According to findings from an inquest conducted by the coroner's office in the Bahamas, Aaliyah had severe burns and a blow to the head in addition to severe shock and a weak heart. The coroner theorized that she went into such a state of shock that even if she had survived the crash, her recovery would have been nearly impossible given the severity of her injuries. The bodies were taken to the morgue at Princess Margaret Hospital in Nassau, where they were kept for relatives to help identify them. Some of them were badly burned.